Hey there, how's it going? This is Across the Rubicon channel, just checking to see if it's on. I'm just walking here in Christchurch, just by the museum here. Beautiful day. I was talking to a good friend of mine earlier on the phone who's in his 70s and born and bred Kiwi, Pākehā as they like to call white Europeans in New Zealand nowadays, and he despairs for New Zealand and what's happening in its country, and how the people of New Zealand, the majority Pākehā, white, are basically just capitulating to what's happening. And the country really is in the middle of a coup, and it seems the media and all political parties are all on board. There's nothing anyone can do, and if you do raise your head above the parapet to say something about it, well, you get shot down. And like I've said about Julian Batchelor, a man much like myself, cut from the same cloth, a lot more eloquent than me, but he's doing a tour of New Zealand and he's telling people much what I'm saying, and it's hard to get people to come along and see him and understand what he's saying, because people fear. Well, there's quite a few things, but fearing the truth is the big thing. Fearing someone say it, fearing being seen at one of these events. But you know, people think if they ignore it long enough, then it won't happen. But it doesn't work like that. The more this problem is ignored, the more these radical, extremist, elite Maoris at the very, very top take advantage. And the greatest gift to these radical, extremist Maoris who want to take everything you own, believe me, they want to take everything you've built. Much like what Mugabi did in Zimbabwe. I truly believe that. But the greatest gift to these radical extremists, right at the very top of the Maori tree, and to name names, yes, all tribal leaders, and in the Maori party, Willy Jackson, well, he's Labour Party, but the Maori caucus in Parliament, Willy Jackson, John Tamahiri, Rawiri Waititi, Debbie Packer, Nanaia Mahuta. There's many of them, and these are the mouthpieces, but much more powerful people are behind them, and the much more powerful people are the iwi or tribal leaders that we don't necessarily see on the news, nightly news, or here on the radio, but they're the ones that take huge checks, money checks I'm talking about, from the government for hundreds of millions every few years, and given vast tracts of land and water and lakes and mountains and forestries and fisheries. These people are the beneficiaries of great naivety, if you like, of cowardly successive governments, be it from National or Labour. Now my old mate, he's in his 70s, as I've said. He's sick to death of it. Sick to death of it. He's never seen anything like this in his life. It's because he's aware. It climbs into him, it gets into you. And for them who are blissfully unaware, well, they don't know what's happening, and they're happy. And they think it's not going to happen to them, and they will tend to attack the messenger and call them all kinds of names, what the media call them, and they just repeat what the media and radical extremist Maoris at the very top say. But anyway, I cut my lip this morning shaving, would you believe that? It'll come up. But anyway, it's not a disease or anything. Hope not. Anyway, probably leprosy. I may as well have leprosy because I'm treated like a leper in New Zealand. But anyway, if you don't laugh, you'll cry, eh? What is it? It's just bonkers. The country's gone bonkers. I'd say it was probably the worst in the world then. There's no freedom here. And it seems even among the so-called freedom community in New Zealand, they won't even go down the road I'm talking about. They won't even talk about it. All they still want to talk about is this. That's all they want to talk about. There's more pressing issues, because while the country's been concentrating on that, these activists right at the top of the tree have been busily, with the Labour Party and other parties, including National, have been busily making laws for in the near future. They are going to come for every scrap of land in New Zealand that's been made rich by non-Maori, and they're going to, well, what they believe, claim it back. And that is what I believe is going to happen. And I hate to say it, but many people have said to me they won't do it because there'll be a civil war. I argue there won't be a civil war. It will be as good as a transition from white Europeans into the hands of very, very wealthy and very influential Maori elites who will promise the lowly Maori, the Maori that we see every day in the streets, they will promise them riches too. And on the promise of them riches, they will try and encourage them to join in the land confiscations. Again, harking back to Zimbabwe. And many will say, well, I was brought up with Maori all my life, and many of them will say they'd be on our side. And these are only predictions and thoughts of mine. Take it or leave it. But I believe these Maori elites will say to them, the lowly Maori, or should I say the street Maori, if you like, They will say, join with us, take back our land. But if you don't join with us, you will be treated as a pakeha, basically like an enemy. And if you've got any land, we'll take your land too. I might be wrong. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. There you go, that's me. This is Cross the Rubicon channel. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, share this video everywhere. Okay, see you later.